This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. From Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, the Cardinals looking for a sweep against the Atlanta Braves. The Cardinals playing some of the best baseball in the National League, and with that, they have moved into first place in the Central Division. They are tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll be keeping an eye on Pittsburgh all afternoon long. Later today on the West Coast at AT&T Park, A.J. Burnett, the big right-hander, will get the call for Clint Hurdle's club. His record is 6-8. Meanwhile, it's been an injury-plagued season for the righty for the San Francisco Giants. That's Ryan Vogel's song, and hopefully the Giants can play spoiler again this afternoon. And welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're delighted to have you with us. The Cardinals playing very well, and they've turned the table and turned the tricks on the Atlanta Braves after they were swept in Atlanta.
Probably their low point of the season, Dan, was that trip where the Cardinals were playing against both the Pittsburgh Pirates and Atlanta. They just could not get any offense, but they certainly have turned it around here. A lot of clutch hits against a very good Atlanta team, plus the pitching for St. Louis has been terrific.
And we'll take a look at Lance Lynn when we come back. The starters have been very good in this series. Lynn hopes to continue that today. Big number 31 gets the call from Mike Matheny's club. A closer look at Lynn when we come back. Thursday, and their starter, Joe Kelly. The starters in this series for the Redbirds have gone at least 6 innings. Then, the ace of the staff, Adam Wainwright, the fastball and the very good breaking ball that we know about. That's 12-6 right there. He went the distance. Then it was Shelby Miller last night. The 22-year-old rookie had the cutter going. He was ahead in the count, and the Cardinals dominated as they won that ball game. And now look for a sweep as Lance Lynn gets the call today.
Pitching's been great. Now it's Lance Lynn's turn. He's been a winner in his career, 32-15. 1-1 against the Braves, and Lance Lynn needs to control the strike zone here this afternoon.
Well, from that big bear that gets the call, it's also a Build-A-Bear workshop day. David Freese is in the lineup. We've got baseball coming up. Second in the National League. You go to the year before, he had just 2 saves. Although on the other side, Craig Kimbrell, well, 3 consecutive years of 40 or more saves. He is one of the best in baseball. Which guy will we see today? Craig Kimbrell, Edward Mejica. Baseball is coming up. Outside corner and a strikeout for Mejica. Strikes out Carpenter to start the night. Got him, and the Cardinals take game 1. Mejica is on fire. Brilliantly pitched game by the Braves. How about a sweep? The Cardinals have it. Sweep away the Marlins. Kimbrell shuts the door. Atlanta Braves this afternoon. It's another important game for the Redbirds to not only keep pace in the Central, but also a victory today would tie Atlanta for the best record in the National League. It's late August, but this game could have implications for home field advantage in the fall. It's the Atlanta Braves, the St. Louis Cardinals. Game number 4, a possible sweep next. Is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are winning. Grab some buds. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. This is Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest, and a gorgeous afternoon for baseball here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We turn to Rick Horton's Keys to the Game, a presentation of Toyota.
Cardinal starters have done very well in this series because they've controlled the count, something Lance Lynn's going to have to do today, and keep beating left-handers. The Cardinals had a rough start against left-handed starting pitchers, but they are back on track with 3 straight victories in the last couple of weeks.
Tony West, that's his camera as he follows David Freese to his spot at third base.
What a great shot.
Take a look at the lineup that the Braves will feature here this afternoon. Jordan Schaefer, Elliott Johnson, a switch hitter, then Freddie Freeman, who has homered in this series. So has Justin Upton. He'll bat cleanup. Gerald Laird, the former Cardinal. Joey Terdoslavich. Andrelton Simmons. Paul Janisch, the former Red, and Mike Minor, the lefty, getting the start batting ninth for Atlanta. The Cardinals defense brought to you by Dobbs, Holiday, Robinson, Beltran in the outfield, Freese and Cosmo on the left side of the infield, Carpenter and Craig on the right side, Yachty another start behind the plate, and the Kia starter for St. Louis, Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn needs to not only control the count here this afternoon, but he needs to stay away from the big inning. That was his problem in his last outing in Milwaukee. He gave up a 5-spot in 1 inning, and really it's kind of been a story of the days where he struggles, that he just can't seem to get that third out. And the Braves certainly struggling offensively in this series, and Lynn would like to keep it that way.
Freddie Gonzalez has been talking about home field advantage. That's what his team needs to focus on as they lead their division by 12 games. They've lost 3 straight, all 3 in this series. you look up, all of a sudden, St. Louis has that shot too, depending on how this final 5 weeks plays out.
And what a difference a couple of weeks makes, Dan. I think about all of the naysaying that was going on about this Cardinal team and the panic about the Cardinals pitching in particular 2 weeks ago. And throw the offense in as well, where everybody was struggling at the same time, and the players just kind of kept gutting through it. But the Cardinals have continued gotten back in their winning ways, and now have a record of 76-53, up among the best overall record in the National League.
Nice to wake up this morning, see the Cardinals are in first place in the Central Division, tied with Pittsburgh. Cincinnati will be in town tomorrow. You see that they're still well within reach of that best overall record, only 2.5 games behind Pittsburgh and the Cardinals. Well, with Jason Hayward out, it's Jordan Schaefer as the leadoff man. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Schaefer is hitting .264, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. On base percentage of .350. David Freese is even with the bag at third. Check swing, strike 2. If we've learned anything from the last 2 nights, and it's been true in baseball for 100+ years, you get ahead in the count, you control the strike zone, you have a chance to win. The Cardinals have done that with back-to-back starts. Wainwright 2 nights ago, Miller last night.
Gotten ahead, and then they finished hitters off. And Joe Kelly did a nice job of that even in game 1 of this series, and all of their stuff was good too. That's what you like to see too, going into the end of August, where your starting pitchers are not kind of drained and kind of losing their velocity. Wainwright in particular throwing very hard even in the ninth.
And the 0-2 is hit down the right field line. He went down to get it. That's a fair ball. And it's off the wall. Schaefer on his way to second, hesitated. The throw to third, not in time. Looked like it might be a ground rule double. Schaefer was thinking that as well. Hesitated around the bag at second. Winds up with a leadoff triple.
Schaefer had the speed to overcome that, but you really can't be thinking it's a ground rule double. Let the umpire be the umpire. Just places this one perfectly down the right field line. He can fly. He can flat out run. 13 stolen bases, but he believes it's a ground rule double, so he's kind of slowing up, and then he gets the get over here sign from Brian Snitker.
And that's taken low by Johnson. Elliott Johnson, picked up from Kansas City. Light hitting utility man, 179 average, 2 home runs. And with the Braves, just 2 base hits. He's 2 for 11. The corners are in. And he hits it sharply into right field, 1-0 Atlanta. Johnson with RBI number 10. Certainly not the way that Lynn and the Cardinals wanted to start this game. The first 2 have reached. And it brings in Freddie Freeman, who's hitting .316. Good power with 16 homers. He's driven in 85. Schaefer scoring the first run today.
Last night's ball game, Shelby Miller gave up a run in the first inning. And he was just nasty the rest of the way. That's what Lance Lynn needs to do.
Double play ball. Started by Pete Kozma. Two away, and it brings in Upton. Cardinals have made a point midway through this season to ask Lynn to really try to step up the speed of the game, the pace, the body language as well. He's made a conscious effort to improve that, and I think he has. 2 outs and nobody on, and here is Justin Upton. Must be nice. Starting pitcher the day after a win, 2 days after a complete game. You sit in there and just relax a bit, don't you?
Best feeling in the world. Gave up 7. If you gave up 7 runs in an inning in the third, it's miserable. 4 days waiting to get to pitch again.
And a fly ball into shallow right. Tough play, but the catch is made by Alan Craig. He's turned out to be a very good defender. Braves strike first, 1-0. And his 10th of the year. 1-0 Braves after a half inning. Here's a look at Mike Matheny's lineup. Carpenter, Beltran, and Holiday, followed by Craig, Molina, and Freese, Robinson, Cosma, and the pitcher Lance Lynn. Let's go around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Turdoslavich, Schaefer, and Upton in the outfield. Janish and Simmons on the left side of the infield. Johnson and Freeman on the right side. Laird is behind the plate. And a tough lefty when he's right, although his last 3 starts he has an ERA well above 6. Mike Minor
did beat the Cardinals on the 26th of July, went 7 solid innings, but the first 4 Cardinals in the lineup have homered against Minor. And the Cardinals, of course, facing a left-handed pitcher, and we know what that means, Dan.
Really doesn't make sense why the Cardinals, in my mind, would struggle against left-handed pitching. When you have Molina, Craig, Holiday, Beltran goes to the other side, and as well as Carpenter handles lefties. Those are some pretty big names that you would figure would have success against left-handed pitching.
No question. And they've done better in the last few outings against left-handers, beginning with Travis Wood on the road trip. Beaten 3 in a row, and they'd love to make it 4. How about that first pitch up and in, just to let everybody know he means business.
Get your attention. The Cardinals are 15-19 against left-handed starters this year.
You think that first pitch is there's a new sheriff in town moment?
Maybe it's saying that the Cardinal hitters have been a little too comfortable in this series.
And maybe it's saying the pitch just got away from him, too. All those could be true.
Get the feeling, though, at this level, as good as these guys are, pitch that goes up and in more times than not is with a meaning, with message. Back a guy off the plate. As Carpenter pops it up into left. And the catch is made by Joey Turdoslavich. Here's Carlos Beltran, who's hitting .311. 23 home runs and 70 RBIs. Milwaukee has jumped out to a 2-run lead over Cincinnati. That's in the top of the 4th. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Carlos. Out in front, popped up behind home plate and in the seats. Talking with GM John Mozeliak moments before our first pitch about the future of Carlos Beltran, and he wanted to make sure that fans knew they will explore the opportunity in trying to re-sign Carlos. But he's also smart enough to realize many teams are looking at the last 2 seasons and saying he might make a really good difference on our team. And money not really part of the entire package with the equation of Carlos Beltran. Age and how many years he might get somewhere else. 1-2, and he turned on that but yanked it foul. 300. You would hope that Oscar Taveras is back next season and healthy, and then you also have a Matt Adams that would get more playing time too.
I think Taveras clearly the key to that, or one of the keys to that. 357 career home runs for Beltran, and sure does appear that he's got some more left in that tank. Just how much, I'm not sure even he knows, but just a fantastic career for Beltran.
2-2 the count, 1 out, nobody on. And Carlos hits it out to center field. Got it off the end of the bat. Jordan Schaefer is there. 2 down. In steps the big slugger Matt Holliday. 2 nights ago, one of the longest home runs at this ballpark. Last night, a screamer, a line drive into right center field that brought in 2. Made it a 4-1 game, and the Cardinals tacked on 2 more to eventually win it and set up a potential sweep here today. Outfield is deep, and the first pitch is taken for a strike. Holliday, 17 home runs and 66 RBIs. Ground ball that's pulled foul. Cardinals are trying to sweep a 4-game series against the team with the best record in the major leagues for the first time since 1952. St. Louis did have a 4-game sweep on the road earlier this year against Milwaukee. To sweep 4 games home or road is very, very tough to do. To do it on the road, it's almost unheard of. Schaefer going back and makes the catch on the track. Tiptoeing out there, but made the play on the track in right center. 3 fly ball outs against Minor here in the first inning. The Plaza Tire Service replay as we head to a timeout. tires. And that kicks off such an important weekend of baseball. You've got Pittsburgh in town. The next day, the Willie McGee jersey. Let's hope that we get Willie back in town for that. Then the Sunday pennant giveaway. It's all coming up when Pittsburgh is in town. The Braves have a 1-run lead after 1 inning of play. Riding the ship, Mike Minor mentioned this, his last 3 starts, the ERA over 6. Well, just below 6. That's the Cardinals' Lance Lynn.
Opponent's batting average very high against both of these starters, and they've both been winners in their early career. Lance Lynn especially 32-15. And we'll see if they can reverse those trends here today. Lance Lynn giving up a run in the first on a couple of hits, and the good news is he avoided a big inning.
Best run support, and that helps out when you get to 13 wins. 13-7, the record of Lance Lynn. Mike Minor, 12 wins. He's 12-5.
It's really a 2-year trend for Lance Lynn.
Sure is. There's Gerald Laird, backup catcher with the Cardinals back in 2011.
You think he's buying dinner for his teammates or sending them little presents?
What do you think? Get a home run, it's a Rolex, triple RBI. You're talking about a couple of nice dinners. It's just like being the quarterback with your offensive line.
Exactly.
Got to take care of those guys. Laird up the middle and a base hit. Leadoff hit to start the second inning, and the third hit allowed by Lance Lynn. Right before our first pitch, Freddie Gonzalez changed up his lineup with Giannis coming in, and in doing so changed up just about everybody in the order of this lineup. You see the English on that baseball, and a pitch that was in, fought off, and he picks up the third hit of the day.
And that lineup change made me have to scramble to find some whiteout. The entire lineup was flip-flopped by Freddie Gonzalez, and really they don't really have a leadoff hitter. Jordan Schaefer's doing it right now, but you talked earlier about how they miss Jason Hayward. They don't really have another choice for the leadoff spot, but then you've got to move Justin Upton into the cleanup spot, and Chris Johnson's been a good find for them.
And a base hit out to left field. The first 2 have reached. 4 hits allowed by Lynn. Runners at first and second, and it brings in Simmons.
The delivery of Lance Lynn. Pretty good sink action, down and away, not a bad spot.
Simmons looks at his strike. .248 average, 11 home runs. He's driven in 43. The outfield is straight away. Hitting just .209 with runners in scoring position this year. 0-1 pitch.
John Smoltz was telling me earlier today that he had trouble early in his career with giving up a lot of runs in 1 inning. He would have this kind of 1 inning problem, and he got through it pretty quickly. Of course, had a great career. One of the things that he learned along the way is, and was taught this, was you back off the mound and you try to look around and see as many things as possible in 20 seconds. And you just kind of look around and enjoy the surroundings, and then turn it off and focus back. And what psychologically he believed that did for him is it kind of allowed him to get through the angst of the moment that he was in and refocus, almost like a reboot. And Lance Lynn, everybody's going to use a different trick, but certainly that's something he's trying to learn, is how to avoid kind of the snowballing inning, and don't let your emotions get the best of you.
In the air out to left, Holiday going back and makes the catch on the run. And Laird was not tagging up, so he's back to the bag at second, and a big first out here in the top of the second inning.
Well, as it turns out, Laird probably could have made it from second to third, but he's halfway. Last minute, he tries to go back and tag up because Holiday was going backwards. So almost impossible for him to get a good throw back into the infield. And a bit risky perhaps for Laird, but I believe he could have made it.
And a pitch that's taken low and in. Paul Janisch, 8th place hitter. Then you have Minor, the pitcher, on deck, so a chance for Lynn to get out of this jam. Janisch hitting just .115 in 32 games. He is known for his glove. Very good defender, can play short, can play third where he's at today. And just as I say that, it's a base hit into right field. Laird being waved home. He will score. And it's 2-0 Atlanta. A single into right. 3 hits in this inning and a 2-run lead for the Braves.
Not a lot of movement on that fastball. Pretty straight. Not really typical of Lance Lynn, who has a lot of life on his fastball, both up in the zone and down in the zone. That one pretty much just center cut.
This is also what John Smoltz has told us in the past. When you give up a hit like this, it's popped up, and Yadi makes a sliding catch. Nice play by Yadier Molina. Had to locate it, and then the sliding catch in foul territory, out number 2. I was about to say, though, you have to minimize the damage.
No question. You learn whatever tricks you can to make that happen. Good effort by Yadi. Just barely gets there in time. Outstanding play. We were talking about Jeff Suppan, who I thought was really good at pitching out of a jam, would just slow the game down almost painfully. When they'd get the bases loaded, nobody out, he'd walk off the back of the mound and almost just go into his own little world for a couple of minutes and just slow the game between every pitch and take the life out of the other team's offense. Now, that worked for him. Might not work for everybody.
Here's Jordan Schaefer. Well, Soup had a lot of practice at that.
The bases loaded, nobody out?
Yes.
I'm telling him you said that. I'm going to text him right now. Might get a Jeff Suppan word of the day, and you might not like it.
Slicing towards the corner. Holiday won't get there. It's a ground rule double. And with that, the Cardinals catch a break. Janisch has to go back to the bag at third. It's a ground rule double. A run does score. And not the way that we envisioned this start beginning for Lance Lynn. Schaefer with a triple, now a double. And an RBI. And it's a 3-run lead. Already 6 hits for Atlanta.
Seems like a different team offensively, doesn't it? I mean, the last couple of nights really struggling just to make solid contact, and they're finding holes everywhere so far today. Schaefer with a double and a triple already.
The Plaza Tire Service replay, and it's runners at second and third. Brings in Elliott Johnson, single to right, picked up an RBI. Two outs, 2 on.
Now.
And who knows if that ball stays in play. Is at a spot down the left field line that can be tricky. That ball could get away. Certainly another run scores, and maybe Schaefer's at third. There's a grounder that's hit to second, and the play is made. The Braves strand 2. They add to their lead 3-0 midway through 2 here on Fox Sports Midwest. Draft, and it is back. Head to foxsports.com/fantasy draft. It's hosted by Patrick O'Neill. Kicks off at 8 on August 29th, streaming live on foxsports.com/fantasy draft. We'll do it live. And that's a foul ball. It's Craig, Molina, and Freeze for St. Louis here at the bottom of the second. So here's the deal. If the Cardinals, the Pirates, and Dodgers all win today, four-way tie for the best record with 32 to play. The importance of this game, you never know. Maybe home field advantage. If these two teams would tie with identical records, then you have to look at the head-to-head matchup, and this year they play 7 times. So they have split 6, and here we go with number 7.
I think that's an important point, and one I'm sure is not lost on Mike Matheny. His philosophy that he says every single day is, we just worry about winning today. He's trying to convince his players to think that way. He doesn't like to think about series the way Tony La Russa used to talk. He'd say win a series. He doesn't like that specific line of conversation. He doesn't like to talk about trends, about next week, about next month. And he says, I know that sounds boring, but that's what I'm trying to teach my players and trying to focus on is just today.
One and two.
And right after saying something like that, a reporter will say, well, what about Pittsburgh coming up in that series? How important is that? He'll say, today. Not worried about Pittsburgh next week.
Well, the guy on deck doesn't want to talk about how well he's swinging the bat either. There's a liner into right field and a base hit. Drops in front of Upton. And Alan Craig, certainly a part of that batting race with Johnson and Molina. Allen came in hitting .309, and that single into right. The first base hit for the Cardinals here this afternoon. Could be the MVP of the league. And you mentioned those teams that are all vying for potentially having the best record in baseball after the day is through. And you never know. That final month may dictate who could be that MVP as Yachty hits it out of play. Molina is hitting .336, 10 home runs. He's driven in 60. Big gap in left center. The 0-1 is hit into right field. Shallow. Upton is there. Makes the catch. Back to the bag. At first goes Alan Craig. One away.
Let's look at the delivery of this talented left-hander, Minor. Hooks the ball a little bit. He actually hooks the ball with his wrist, which is not really taught. May add a little deception to him. And it actually creates a little more work in your delivery. And pitchers like that, you tend to worry about injuries. Rick Sutcliffe used to do that. It worked for him where he hooked the baseball and then he would lay it back out again and get back up on top. And again, it's more you should be pushing the ball away from you, not hooking it towards you. But seems to work for Minor. Also a bit of a short armor. Does not get a lot of extension. Almost looks like the ball's coming out of his ear a bit, but fastball's got some life to it.
Here's David Freese and an 0-1 pitch.
Not much to show for it yet, Dan, but the Cardinals have had some good swings against Minor so far.
They sure have. Here's an 0-2 pitch. And Freeze hits it out to left field for a base hit. Pitch that was up. We've seen teams really trying to, the last week or so, bust him in. They did that with the first 2 pitches. And then David, he was ready for it, hits it out to left. Well, Shane Robinson came in as a defensive replacement and a pinch hitter last night. Wound up having 2 at-bats and went 2 for 2.
6 for his last 10 is Shane Robinson. And his average now up to 290. Cardinals' #1 pinch hitter a year ago.
That'll find the seats and out of play. Nice crowd here on hand. We'll find out later today if it's a sold-out crowd. They were very close to that coming into play today. 20 plus sold-out crowds this year. And Robinson hits a line drive into right. The catch is made. And back to the bag goes Craig and Freeze. 2 down. Pete Kozma has 1 home run this year. That was in the first week of the season, the first series against Arizona. He's driven in 33, and his average has dipped to 219. No other way to put it. It has been a very tough month of August for Pete Kozma.
0 for his last 21. Been late a lot.
And if you're Mike Matheny, you're talking about a fragile young player. You know, mentally, where is he at right now? We know that he's a valuable defensive guy. He's played well there. Doesn't have superior range, but he's made the plays. He's been fine. The Cardinals have been pleased in that regard.
Ow.
And when you think about how fragile the mental state can be in this game with a young player, you don't want him to get buried.
Well, all young players have some fragility to them, but Pete Kozma is as even-tempered and as even-keeled as you're going to see in a young player, and I think that's going to be to his advantage. By the way, the Cardinals had a player in 2006 had a rough year offensively. He had 216 that year as a young Cardinal player, and thought, well, I wonder if this guy's going to be able to bounce back from that. And that guy's named Yadier Molina. Now, I'm not saying Pete Kozma's Yadier Molina, but big picture,
Kozma pulls it foul.
Kozma has some years ahead of him.
Young player, developing, drafted out of high school, raised a lot of eyebrows at that time with the pick. We saw him sparingly the last 2 years. But it was right around this time, after Rafael Furcal was injured in Washington, that Pete Kozma arrived on the scene and played very well. 1-2 pitch. And Kozma hits a fly ball out to shallow right. Upton puts it away. Cardinals strand 2. We've played 2. The Atlanta Braves lead it 3-0. Maddox, that trio, so good for so many years. And next year in Cooperstown, Rick, we're talking about the potential of Glavine, Maddox, Bobby Cox, and John Sherholtz, maybe all four going into the Hall of Fame.
And look at those numbers there. All three of them Cy Young Award winners and just outstanding careers. And we would like to know who your favorite Braves starter was in the 90s. Smoltz, Glavine, or Maddox. That's our AT&T Twitter poll here this afternoon.
John Smoltz in the house and working on the TBS broadcast. Finished up his career in St. Louis in 2009 down the stretch. Cardinals made it into postseason play that year. And eventually they were swept by the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman leads it off. Freeman, Upton, and Laird. There's some that said to me within the Braves organization they're a little concerned as to whether or not Glavine makes it in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I guess there were times that he was not as easygoing as some of the others with the media, so it'd be their way of maybe keeping him out for a year and then eventually he goes back in, which I think is ridiculous in itself, which has been going on for years.
100%.
But the one thing that you get with these guys is they played and pitched in the steroid era. Their name's not linked to that, and you would have to think they have to be first ballot Hall of Famers. For sure, Glavine and Maddox.
Well, Smoltz with the saves and the wins, I think it'd be hard to keep any of them out. Eventually, they'll all get in. I'm glad you don't have to face all three of them anymore.
Strikeout. The first of the afternoon for Lance Lynn. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
The Cardinals have frustrated Freddie Freeman a little bit in this series. He's hit a couple of bullets right at the second baseman, Matt Carpenter, and didn't get hits with those because of the shift. And last at bat, he tried to ground the ball up the middle. That one tried to take it the other way and finds himself 0 for 2 here today.
And that pitch is taken high and outside by Justin Upton. Popped out his first time up. And remember, we gave a lot of credit to Shelby Miller yesterday with Freeman on the 1-2 pitch in the first. He hit it out of the ballpark, but then after that settled in and pitched really well.
And that's really the task for Lance Lynn here in the third inning, is to forget what's happened the first two. Easier said than done. You've given up 6 hits, 3 runs. You're trailing. Whatever you can do to say, game starts now. And I'm going to go out and compete, get him out the rest of the way, and see what happens.
Jam shot to second base. And it brings in Laird. MLB.TV celebrating 11 years. And you can see baseball on over 350 mobile devices. MLB.TV, where baseball is everywhere.
We talk a lot about mound presence, and I'm not even sure this is a phrase, but I guess there's such a thing as plate presence. And I would say Justin Upton's plate presence hasn't been very good in this series. He's been very, very frustrated at the plate. Good inning for Lance Lynn. 1-2-3. Now that's more like it.
Busch Stadium here in the Gateway City. Nothing like it. Lance Lynn leads things off. One ball and one strike. Remember a few years ago, Lance Lynn hurt his side.
Yeah.
Dealt with that oblique issue, which has become an injury that we hear a lot about now in professional sports, certainly in baseball, a lot in hockey. Lynn back to Minor, and he makes the play. Steps, throws, one away.
First time through the lineup. Probably 5 balls hit hard against Minor. Just 2 hits, no runs for the Cardinals. Now his job is to probably make an adjustment. He needs to be realistic about that and understand that, look, Holiday crushed the ball. And Beltran pretty good at bat. I'm going to have to make a little adjustment. And, you know, the Cardinals have to make in-game adjustments on the offensive side about how to get to him a little bit better. And as we've mentioned all series and haven't had to deal with it yet, you want to get to him early enough, Dan, so you're not dealing with their bullpen at the end, especially with Kimbrel, as Matt Carpenter lines one to left center field for a base hit. FoxSportsMidwest.com is your home for Cardinals news all season long. Log on for game previews, recaps, and the latest updates from Stan McNeil and Ben Frederickson. It's all on FoxSportsMidwest.com.
Beltran bounces it to short. Out at second, and it's a double play. The only hotels that give you home field advantage and an extraordinary Cardinals baseball experience. For reservations and info, the number to call is 314-421-1776 or visit HiltonSt.Louis.com. Lance Lynn back to work. We're in the top of the fourth, and the Cardinals trail 3-0. Turdoslavich, Simmons, and Yanish.
Good third inning for Lance Lynn. Now you got to try to build on it here in the bottom half of the order. Turdoslavich, base hit and a run scored in the second.
Milwaukee in the sixth inning, bottom half, leading Cincinnati by the score of 2-0. Big gap in right center. That's strike two.
Just about an hour till the start in San Francisco. Burnett and Vogelsong. And we'll keep an eye on that game for you as this game unfolds.
0-2 pitch and a base hit into center field. The Braves left fielder is 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Can we just call him Joey?
Joey and the Turdoslaviches.
Just too hard to say. There's a pitch to Joey. Again, a little straight for a Lance Lynn. I'm going to call him Joey. It's a lot easier.
Mama call him Joey. I call him Joey.
I'm calling him Joey. You don't think of Lance Lynn throwing straight fastballs. He normally has a lot of movement, but a couple of the hits we've noticed fairly straight. Velocity's there.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Simmons. How about Lance Lynn, Rick, and take a look at his mechanics. And a lot of times we mention how he falls off to the first base side. What can that do, pro and con, for a pitcher?
If you fall off to the first base side, one of the possible results is your arm dropping. We also call it top spinning, where the top half of your body spins around instead of going downhill. You kind of go around your body. And when you go around your body, that means your arm's also coming around, and you can tend to come underneath the ball. It gets flatter. Sometimes your elbow will drop inadvertently. Your arm slot gets lower. For the pitchers that come straight at home plate, they tend to be on top of the ball better, and they're throwing downhill. That's really the feel you want as a pitcher, is throwing downhill. Use your height.
Ground ball that is foul. Adolph Auer at the game and celebrating his 99th birthday. And Kurt Samuels, who's been a ticket taker for 35 years, wanted to wish him a happy birthday.
There's the delivery. That's pretty direct to the plate there. He does fall off at the end. Most pitchers will do that at least a little bit. The key is not to have that in an exaggerated way. Dyer Miller used to use the phrase, Dan, it's the top part of your body, if you can picture it.
Fly ball into center. One away.
If you could picture it as a Ferris wheel more than a merry-go-round. I like that thought. Instead of it spinning side to side, it's more up and down kind of rotation. That's really what the pitcher's top half should do.
Season series. What's happened at Busch Stadium? It's been defined by sweeps. 2 for Atlanta, 3 for St. Louis, and maybe a chance at making it a 4-game sweep. Remember, it was Minor, Tehran, and Medlin. They pitched so well a few weeks ago. The sweep of the Cardinals in Atlanta. This series, Kelly, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Wainwright going the distance. And Miller last night, 7 innings. One out, runner at first, and a check on that runner. And Joey is back in there safely.
I guess we could just be thankful his mother didn't name him Andrelton. Then we wouldn't know what to call him.
Cardinals have turned a double play today. That was off the bat of Freeman. And the Braves turned a double play moments ago. 6-4-3 off the bat of Beltran. The 2-0 is hit out of play.
Giannis actually was in AAA with Atlanta after spending some time as a big leaguer in Cincinnati. Got traded over to the Braves, but they had him at the minor league level, and he could become an important player for this team as it unfolds here the last 5 or 6 weeks. We talked about movement being important for Lance Lynn. How's that for movement? That tied up Giannis on the inner half.
And a base hit to right. First time up, the 2-2. Ground ball, this could be 2. Stepping on the bag, Cosma double play. That's the second time the Cardinals have done that. Lynn screaming into his glove as he walks into the dugout. Quarter pounder. It's topped with thick cut applewood smoked bacon, melty American cheese, pickles, crisp red onion. It's only at McDonald's. The bottom of the third ended with a double play as Holiday was left on deck, and he pops it up. Second baseman wants it and has it. That's Elliott Johnson, and there's one away. Brings in Alan Craig, who is single. Big gap in left center. By the way, those pickles for that quarter pounder are crinkle cut pickles.
Ow.
And a strike to Craig.
Glad to know that.
Crinkle cut. Here's an 0-1. You having fun on the TV side, Rick?
You know, yes.
You know, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm feeling the love, Dan.
Here's a 1-1. Ground ball, that's foul. Are you back on radio tomorrow?
I am. You'll miss me. Big series.
So Hungo's over here.
You'll have Hungo for the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay, got it.
Series. And I know there's some tickets still available, by the way, Dan, for those 3 games against the Reds. Actually, good seats available. Tyler Lyons and Mike Leake in Game 1. Joe Kelly and Matt Latos on Tuesday. Wainwright and Homer Bailey in the Wednesday night game. We've been kind of circling these games on the calendar for a couple of weeks, knowing just how important they could be. The Reds, like the Cardinals and the Pirates, just not going away.
That'll find the seats out of play. Saw Wainwright pitch so well the other day. 128 pitches. At all concern about that pitch count coming back in his next start?
No. I understand why there may be concern, but I just thought he was too locked in. He had very few pitches in stress. Again, a part of our conversation with Smoltz today, and we kind of both feel the same way about it, that a pitch under stress counts as 5. So if a pitcher throws 100 pitches in a game but had 3 jams, that's different than what Wainwright dealt with yesterday because he was in command the whole way. Free and easy.
Just like that, quickly 2 outs. Pitch count at 46 for Mike Minor. And it brings in Yadier Molina, who is flied out to right. And courtesy of McDonald's, by the way, those 3 games, still think there's $8 seats left. Cardinals.com/McDonald's. We thank them for their sponsorship and support of baseball all season long. A strike to Yadier Molina with 2 outs, nobody on. Minor against St. Louis now. 10 2/3 and 1 earned run he's allowed. Haven't quite figured him out yet.
Well, they had him figured out last year. He has a career ERA, as we mentioned in the open against the Cardinals, of nearly 6. And this is his 4th start in his career against St. Louis, and this season, different story.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Instead, time is called. On the road, he's been very good. 2.51 ERA. That's in the top 5. Look at Kershaw under 2. And Yadi shoots it into right field for a base hit. On a 1-2 pitch, a single into right.
There's your league leading hitter at work again. 2 strikes, not enough against Yadier Molina. Doesn't strike out very much, not afraid to hit when he's down in the count because he goes the other way so well. He doesn't really panic at the plate ever. You don't see him overcommitting. You don't see him being kind of tense at the plate. In fact, the exact opposite.
Here is David Freese. One-0 pitch to Freese. Reached on an 0-2, first time up. And a foul ball, 1-1. 2 outs, runner at first. That's Yadier Molina. The Cardinals trail 3-0. If you're just joining us, RBI for Elliott Johnson back in the first, following the triple by Schaefer to start the game. And an RBI for Giannis, as well as Schaefer in the second. That's all you're scoring. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Freese. Really trying to pound him in. That time outside, 2-1. Milwaukee is added to their lead, 3-0. That's in the top of the 7th against Cincinnati. A 2-1 pitch, short lead at first by Molina. And Freese hits a high fly ball out to right center. And the catch made by Schaefer. Almost collided with his right fielder Upton. The Cardinals have stranded 3. We have played 4 here at Busch Stadium. The Plaza Tire Service replay as we head to a timeout. Should be a fun night of baseball. Pittsburgh in town. That's September 7th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Wow. Robin.
Holy Braves leading the Cardinals, Batman.
I didn't like that, Rick. I think it's something else. That's ball 1 to the pitcher, Mike Minor.
You're kind of hard to please.
You're back on radio tomorrow, right? That's what. Did you tell me? Okay, got it.
Can't wait.
Now, I think we need to ask the question, why would he be dressed as Robin at the ballpark on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in St. Louis?
I'm sure he has his reasons.
Now, it is Fred Bird's birthday today. Many of the mascots are out. Not sure where Robin would fit into the picture there. So that maybe explains it. I'm not sure if there's any kind of significance concerning a play in town or production.
I think some days you just wake up and you feel like being Robin.
You say, hey, it's time to put on the tights and head down to the ballpark. Yeah, I know those days. There's no doubt about it. Minor, the strikeout, his second strikeout of the day for Lance Lynn. You just throw on the costume and you just feel like a different guy. Oh, yeah, pull him down. Oh, come on. You got to put the mask down. Here's Schaefer.
Come on, we can't lose with the boy wonder here. Wonder who he's rooting for.
Apparently, there's a stat out Sundays with Robin at Busch. The Cardinals are 2-0 this year.
I've heard that.
Ground ball to the right side. Ranging is Craig, and Lynn at the bag. Oh, and they got him for the out.
Tough play because Schaefer runs so well. You know you've got to be precise about it. Not hit that hard. Lynn does a nice job of getting over there. You really have to make that decision right away. Hit to your left, get over there. Make a direct route if you can. And a close play goes the Cardinals' way. Wonder whether he stepped on his foot or not.
Saw that near collision last night with Alan Craig. He was at the bag. They were tangled up, but even though he turned his ankle, he said he was fine and in there today. 2 down, pitch count at 57 after a rough first 2 innings. Lance Lynn has settled in.
Been much better. A couple of strikeouts. Has not walked a batter. In fact, hasn't walked a batter in this game. And if he'd been having some control issues to go along with the 7 Braves hits, he'd probably be out of this game by now. But to his credit, he keeps pumping in the strikes. And the pitch count fairly low as he's working here in the 5th inning. Just 57 pitches so far. Make that 58 for Lance Lynn.
0-1 pitch. Now it's 0-2. Johnson with a single and an RBI to bring in Schaefer back in the first. He's also grounded out to second with 2 runners on, back in the second. 0-2 with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of 5. Goes down to get it. And making the catch, Robinson. Robinson leads it off. When we come back, the Cardinals trailing by 3 midway through 5. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer. Milwaukee leading their game 3-0. The Braves leading this game by that same score. Milwaukee and Cincinnati, they are in the 7th as Robinson is jammed and backing up to make the play. Elliott Johnson made it look easy. One away. And that was not an easy play, was it?
No, and that's why you get a guy like Johnson. He was not swinging the bat very well when he was released by Tampa Bay, averaged less than 200. But, you know, you need a second baseman. You need somebody to catch the ball. And Dan Uggla on the disabled list. We mentioned early in this series that he had LASIK eye surgery, trying to get his vision back on track, and really struggled this year. But when you're out there on the market to get a player, you have to think defense first. You want to think offense too, but you got to have somebody that can play the position.
Here is Pete Kozma. Flied out to right, 0 for 1 today. Cardinals have just 4 hits. Kozma yanks it foul. I bet he looks up and it feels like right now every at bat is 0-2.
Painful.
Minor, his pitch count at number 58 with this delivery. Inside to Kozma. Lance Lynn is on deck.
We all have our points of snappage, Dan. Everybody does, where you just lose it. But I would say Pete Kozma would be the single least likely Cardinal player to throw a helmet, throw a bat. We've seen players over the years take bats to sinks in the clubhouse.
David Ortiz a couple of weeks ago, the bullpen phone in the dugout. Chris Sale yesterday. And he went back inside and a strikeout of Kozma. The Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
I had a particularly bad habit that I finally got through. I think I started it in college. Certainly did it in the minor leagues, where if I had a bad game, I would take my glove and throw it into my locker until all of my clothes that were hanging up would come off of the hangers. So let's say you have like 15 things hanging up in your locker. I would just try to destroy my clothes in my locker by throwing my glove at it. I don't know where I came up with that little venting activity. Pretty harmless in a way, and pretty silly in most ways, but somehow I felt better when it was over.
Well, thank goodness you weren't a dapper dresser.
I beg to differ.
Ozzie could dress. You, Horton?
Yeah. I came to the ballpark one day. Honestly, I had the same outfit on that Ozzie had. And Ozzie said, I'm never shopping at that place again.
There's a fly ball out to left field, and on the run and making the catch, Joey.
Career moment for me, really.
Really is. It's a wake-up call, too.
Who caught that ball?
Joey. Cardinals Pennant Day presented by Coca-Cola and the Pasta House. Kids 15 and younger with a ticket receive a Fred Bird pennant. It's also a Hunter Family Sunday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. So that weekend, you've got a fireworks night on Friday, the Willie McGee jersey giveaway, and then the pennant giveaway. Beautiful day for baseball here in the Gateway City. Glad that you're with us. You're home of the Cardinals all season long. Fox Sports Midwest. Along with Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the 6th inning rolls in. It's Freeman, Upton, and Laird.
Lance Lynn threw 5 innings. Dan, just 61 pitches, 70% of them for strikes. And he really has done a good job hanging in after a rough start. Braves had 7 hits, 6 of them early. But 1 more 0, and he's in that quality start range.
Marco Estrada, 1 hitter through 7 with 7 strikeouts, and Milwaukee in the top of the 8th leading Cincinnati 3-0. Pittsburgh playing later today against San Francisco, and that's an off-speed pitch that's fouled back. Freeman is grounded into a double play, and he's also struck out swinging. Lynn has struck out 2.
Cardinals have the shift again for Freeman. Second baseman Carpenter deep on the grass. Caught 2 ground balls there that might have been base hits by Freeman in this series alone. Again, I think that's frustrating for a hitter. When you hit one right on the nose, think it's a base hit, and there's a guy standing there.
Well, you mentioned the matchups for the series coming up against Cincinnati. 0-2 in the count here on Freeman. Tyler Lyons back in the rotation tomorrow night. Ground ball getting him to reach, and Lynn is locked in. Take away the first 2 innings in which he gave up the 3 runs. Lance Lynn has been awfully good today. Since that time, talking about just 1 base hit. But Lyons against a lineup that features very dangerous left-handed hitters. Jay Bruce, Joey Votto.
May have been one of the swaying factors to choose Tyler Lyons. John Mozeliak saying about a week ago when there was some question about the health of Jake Westbrook and whether or not he would go on the disabled list, which he did, and whether he'd be starting in that first game of the series beginning tomorrow. And he said, look, we got a plan B. I can't tell you who it's going to be, but of course it would be either Lyons, Waka, or Martinez. Those would be the logical choices. Pretty clear about all of them. And at the time, I would have probably thought that the most logical choice would be Michael Waka. But he has become kind of a weapon in the bullpen, I think, and the fact that there's some left-handed guys for Cincinnati that Cardinals are concerned about. Maybe that swayed the decision.
Outside, and it's 2-1. Upton is 0 for 2. I asked John Mozeliak this morning about Waka, and he said, look, the allotment of innings for the most part haven't been spent. You know, we could have cashed those in. We have an idea how many innings we want to see him pitch this year. So if they wanted to put him in the rotation, they could do that. And John Mozeliak would not, step in, or his staff, and say, let's think about this, look at the innings. The wheels, the training wheels, so to speak, are off right now. And he could be part of that rotation if they wanted to go that direction. Always a fine line, too, when you think about a winning team. And this team is winning a lot now. How many players do you want to break up into a clubhouse? All of a sudden you've got to make the roster moves, and there's a swing and a miss and strikeout of Upton. But you think about breaking up a roster to an extent, but also keeping things as is. And John Mozeliak is saying to me today that he's more on the side of bringing up fewer players than expanding the roster, especially when teams are winning like the Cardinals are.
I think that makes sense, and most managers and general managers will have come to that same conclusion over the years, that you just don't want to kind of mess with what's working if you're winning. And if not, you want to do some auditioning and give guys rest. And, you know, it's a little bit like the pitch count issue. We talk about Fernandez being shut down for Miami and Harvey for the Mets. Well, why shouldn't they? I mean, what's the reason to shut him down or not to shut him down if your team's got no chance of being in the playoffs?
Ow.
But if you're in it, you just come to a different conclusion. I do know that Mike Matheny's very happy that those reinforcements are coming for the bullpen, and even more happy that his starters have been so good the last few days.
Ow.
Just thinking some of the players that could be called up. I think you're talking about guys that have been here before: Blazek, Salas, maybe even a Keith Butler, who, by the way, made a spot start, his first professional start today. That's in the dirt. Went 3 scoreless innings there.
Logical choices. Sam Freeman,
another one. Yep.
And I think if you're going to err somewhere, you're going to err with more arms than players. Adrian Chambers, of course, comes to mind, because he has a specific thing that he can bring you in terms of his speed and his defense.
Three and two, the count on Laird, as Lynn thought he had another strikeout. Struck out 3 on the day. The Braves have 7 base hits, 6 of the 7 in the first 2 innings.
We've seen Jermaine Curtis a couple of times this season. Another possibility.
2-out walk as Lynn is shaking his head. Mike Leake, who said the Cardinals just have our number. Remember, in his last start, knocked around. Afterwards said the Cardinals just have our number. Well, he gets the call in game 1 tomorrow. Budweiser, what's on tap? Note the start time will come your way at 5:30. 6:05 the first pitch, 5:30 the pregame show. We have tickets, 6:05 first pitch tomorrow. First walk issued by Lynn, who still is frustrated, visibly upset. And in steps Joey. It's 2 for 2. Marco Estrada is through in his start. 9 strikeouts, most by a Brewers pitcher this season. 7 innings, 1 hit, walked 2, 9 Ks. 3-0, 8th inning. Milwaukee leading Cincinnati.
Don't really even think of him as a strikeout guy
at all. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Terdoslavich.
Ow.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs and a run rate first. The Cardinals have the top of the lineup due up. Home half of the 6th. Game gets a little shorter because of Kimbrel. The back end of the game, this bullpen very good of the Atlanta Braves. 1-1 pitch. A breaking ball that's taken down and in. You can see in September too that Mike Matheny can afford to have a shorter leash with some of his starters if he elects to go in that direction because of the expanded rosters in your bullpen.
And a lot of that will depend on the situation of that particular day and where the Cardinals are in the standing and what he might be setting up and who they're playing. Cardinals have 7 in the middle of 17 straight games against the playoff contending teams, and then the last, I think, 15 or 16 games are against non-contending teams. So that's going to be a different world the last 2 weeks. And so much of it, of course, will unfold as the team's progress unfolds. And this team is so far removed from where they were 2 weeks ago, you don't want to really project too much down the road.
Throw down to second. Goodbye. The tag applied by Cosma, and Molina guns him down. And now having words with the home plate umpire. Coming up, it's Matt Carpenter. He'll lead it off for St. Louis when we return. Turn to our charter high-speed pitch of the game. The two starters are still in. Mike Minor at 93, Lance Lynn at 94. Charter high-speed pitch of the game. We're still trying to figure out why Molina was having words with the home plate umpire as we went to break, and it was a long conversation. Then Mike Matheny came out. Hit and run was on. Terdoslavich swung through the pitch. We thought maybe Yachty was upset with some type of interference. Didn't look to be the case, and maybe Molina's just having one of those conversations we're not privy to, both with the masks on, and it's a professional conversation. Maybe an upset Lance Lynn. You just don't know.
Well, after Yachty got his 2 cents in, Mike Matheny replaced him, and he was agitated too. So somebody's protecting somebody, and it's kind of odd. It seemed to come out of the blue. Yachty makes a nice throw down to second to throw out Gerald Laird. Thought everybody'd be happy at that moment.
Carpenter, a base hit again. His second of the afternoon. And what do you know? It's another double. A 2-hit day. He's 2 for 3 and racking up the doubles here in 2013.
Here I come, Rogers Hornsby. 46 career doubles in one season for Hornsby. All-time leader among Cardinals second basemen. And that's now 43 for Matt Carpenter, and a big hit potentially for the Cardinals here in the 6th inning. You mentioned, Dan, you can't wait too long against the Atlanta Braves. It gets tougher and tougher the deeper you get.
So that's multi-hit game number 51. The double for Carpenter. He stands at second with 43. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Instead, a check on Matt Carpenter at second base. One to one the count. Beltran is grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. That was in the third. He's also flied out to center. Cardinals have not had a base runner get to third all day. 1-2 the count. You have to at least get on the board this inning.
You don't need all three, but you're right. You got to score something. Mike Minor, first round pick, 7th pick overall in 2009 with Atlanta. And he's been pitching like it here today. He was the name that, boy, everybody wanted Mike Minor a couple of years ago. When you talked about trade possibilities, he was kind of the buzz name around the minor leagues. And when he got to the big leagues, he was okay in 2011. ERA just over 4. And some time in AAA. And last year, an ERA over 4 again.
Just missed inside.
And there were some Braves people that thought maybe they were going to wait around for the guy to develop into something maybe he wasn't really going to be.
3-2 pitch to Beltran. Just got a piece. Taking a look at the difference maker for St. Louis. BJC Healthcare difference maker last 2 seasons post All-Star break. Carlos Beltran at .317. Remember, .236 last year, but then turned it on again in postseason. The 3-2. And Beltran lifts it in the air. Left center, who wants it? It is the left fielder that makes the play. Carpenter tagging up and in there safely as the ball scoots away. Terdoslavich made the catch. Carpenter took a chance and it paid off.
I think Carpenter's aggressive move there was based on the actual throw. They're taught tag up and start, and if the throw's not a good one, keep going. And I think he saw out of the corner of his eye that that throw was going to be high. He would have had time to get back to the bag, and here he is. He's going to tag up, and he watches the throw. He sees that it's up in the air, so he keeps going. Otherwise, he would have had time to turn around and go back.
What about the momentum of a left fielder going towards center away from third? All plays part of the equation.
All part of the equation.
Now it's Holiday.
Jose Oquendo was telling me just the other day that he teaches runners that. Plan A is to just go and watch for bad throws, or if you can tell that they're going to miss the cutoff man. But if you're not prepared to go, no chance for you to make it.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Fouled. Strike 2 by Holiday.
Mentioned Holiday, one of the 4 Cardinals that have homered against Mike Minor. First 4 batters in the lineup. Carpenter, Beltran, Holiday, and Craig have all taken him deep. He has been tough so far today. Big fly here would be nice.
Sitting on 17. 1-2 pitch. Holiday rips it to first. A nice play made by Freeman. A race to the bag. And Holiday picks up the RBI. Cardinals get on the board. It's now 3-1. And Matt Holiday is driven in 67. Freeman's a nice defender too, isn't it?
Sure is. Seems very comfortable around the bag. Good hands.
Here's Alan Craig. 2 outs, nobody on. He has singled. He has also struck out. Get the feeling that, Rick, this is a key point in this game. This time through the lineup, 6th inning. You think about the 9th, shortening the game here and starting to run out of outs. Not to say you can't get to Kimbrel. It's been done. There's a base hit for Craig, but
not very often.
Not very often is right. Craig is 2 for 3. Hit speed for Holiday and even 100 miles per hour.
Talking about the good hands of Freddie Freeman. That's why he better have good hands. That ball was scorched by Matt Holiday. You hit the ball 100 miles an hour on the ground, you're going to find holes more often than not.
Two outs. Runner at first. And it's fouled back. What a rip there by Molina.
Now, Dan, I said that you don't have to get all 3 runs in this inning. But I should clarify that that would be preferable for the reasons that you mentioned about the Kimbrel and the rest of the relievers for Atlanta. And one just all of a sudden doesn't feel like it's enough.
Lifted out to left off the bat of Molina, and the catch is made. featuring an all-star lineup of experts and legends. Fox Football Daily, weeknights at 5 on America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. We're in the 7th inning. Matt Carpenter scored the only run today for St. Louis. It's now 3-1. Joey Turdoslavich, then Simmons and Janish against Lance Lynn. We'll see if there's any carryover effect, and if it indeed was Yachty maybe protecting his pitcher in the conversation that we heard or have seen between the umpires and today's starter Lance Lynn. Questioning the strike zone possibly, who knows. 1 ball, 1 strike. Turdoslavich is 2 for 2 with a run scored. He scored back in the 2nd inning. Chops 1 foul. 1-2 the count. And a grounder that's hit to Carpenter. 1 away. How would you characterize this start from Lance Lynn?
Well, I'd like to characterize it in 2 parts. First couple of innings, shaky, but he's been terrific since then. Overall, I'd say it's been okay.
Yeah. Who is your favorite Braves starter in the 90s? Smoltz and Maddox getting 40%. Glavine the 20%. Glavine won his 300th victory. He was wearing a Mets uniform. Maddox went back and spent some time with Chicago and San Diego. Smoltz wound up here in St. Louis after a tough go in Boston.
I asked John if the 3 of them ever get together and whether or not he kind of misses that camaraderie and that connection. He said, yeah, I miss it. And he said, to this point, the Braves have never had a moment where they brought all 3 of them back at one time. And he was kind of lamenting that a bit. He thought, it would be fun, and, maybe the Hall of Fame selection would be an opportunity to do that. But, boy, when you think of those teams year after year, playoff teams, they just were on a roll.
Could pitch. Then they'd find another guy that they could fit in. They had good closers.
Always had to find a 4th for the golfing.
Absolutely. Pairings. For the longest time, they thought it was going to be Adam Wainwright.
Steve Avery for a while.
In the air out to left. Holiday looks up, and this ball is gone. It's a home run for Simmons. His 12th, back to a 3-run lead. So Lynn fell behind in the count, had to throw a strike at 3-1. Simmons ready for it, pounced on it, and it's now 4-1 Atlanta.
Braves lead the National League in home runs. Well, that pitch was up and in. Shouldn't have been a pitch that he could have handled like that, but he got the head out quickly enough. And I would guess he was looking for the ball in there. That was about belt high in. Probably not far off its intended location.
Nothing in 2 on Paul Janish.
That's what the home run does for you, Dan. Just like that, the Cardinals do the work in the 6th to get on the scoreboard, to get within 3.
Johnson & Johnson. Anybody ever light your spikes on fire in the bullpen? I mean, Roger McDowell, they have one of the great pranksters there with the Braves when he was playing.
I kind of, well, I was actually in charge of that one year. I was the lighter, not the lightee. I never did the bubble gum on top of the hat routine. But that's just a lovely look, isn't it?
No clue. 2-2 is in the air to the right side and foul. Lefty is up and throwing for the Cardinals. Looks to be Randy Choate. By the way, it's the 23rd sellout of the season. 44,009 here today. 44009. Held on to by Yachty, and a strikeout for Lynn. Fox Sports is proud to partner with Johns Hopkins Medicine, one of this year's Fox Sports Supports charities. Johns Hopkins is at the forefront of groundbreaking research into autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis and lupus. You can join us in the fight against autoimmune diseases. Donate now by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox. Safe at first, Mike Minor. Base hit for Minor. He's 1 for 3. His first base coach is the one and only Terry Pendleton, your former teammate.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit with Terry today. His heart is heavy. Lost his sister early this week, and that's why he was not here for the first game of the series. And look out to me. But our heart goes out to Terry and his family. Former teammate, my neighbor here in St. Louis, great friend, one of my favorite people in the game.
Turned out to be a former MVP, too. Left St. Louis, had some very good years with the Braves. Right in the beginning when they started to turn things around. Early 90s. And a strike to Jordan Schaefer. Think about the infield the Cardinals had at one point on the left side. Terry Pendleton, Ozzie Smith, mix in a Tommy Herr. Dan and Rick with you, 91 degrees here at Busch Stadium.
1987, for much of the year, Jose Oquendo played first base.
That's right.
And so all of the infield, the four that you just mentioned, were switch hitters. And then you had Willie McGee and Vince Coleman in the outfield. So you had 6 switch hitters on your team. Lefty righty really wasn't an issue.
No. Old turf had to have guys that had range too.
Terry certainly had that.
Here's an 0-2 to Schaefer. Outside. Lynn, by the way, is due up fourth for the Cardinals.
You mentioned Roger McDowell, their pitching coach, and folks may have heard this story before, but Tommy Lasorda, who was here this week for an event with Bobby Cox and Tony La Russa, was managing the Dodgers one day, and there was a fan screaming at him, just screaming at him for 4 or 5 innings, just airing him out. And he said, boy, that voice is so familiar. And he turned around and he was like, where is that coming from? And he looked up, and the guy just wearing him out. Tommy used to like to stand by the side of the dugout during the game. And so he looks up and he finally finds the voice. It's his closer, Roger McDowell, who had gone into the clubhouse, changed into street clothes, went up into the stands, and was yelling at his manager.
That's
before
hilarious.
Because he wouldn't be needed till the ninth. I mean, that only a baseball player could think of that.
That's hilarious. 2-2. I also think about the Terry Pendleton home run off of Roger McDowell.
Oh, yeah.
Shea Stadium in New York.
What a moment that was.
Defining moment of that team in regular season play. It's such a fun season of baseball. 85 and 87.
So what if he has to go out and play defense today?
Right.
Will they tell him?
They've got to, right?
Oh, they probably should. And if he doesn't play, is he going to find out, like when he goes in to after the game, take a shower, and he's going to wonder, now, how long has that been up there? Oh, he's fixing the other guy's hat. You might want to look in the mirror, pal. Oopsie daisy. Oops.
Looking around, who did that to me? None of his teammates talking to him probably at that point. Then you got to watch the field too. What do you mean?
They probably new teammates too. I mean, Johnson and Johnson.
He did it, not me.
Oh yeah, point to somebody else. Yeah, throw him under the bus. That's another classic move.
Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Lynn to end his day. 4-1 Atlanta. This Wednesday, Cardinals take on the Reds. For more details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. Well, David Freese leads it off, and the Cardinals trailing by the score of 4-1. Braves have out hit the Cardinals 9-6. Todd Cunningham is in right field now.
And Upton has moved from right field to left field. And I guess that means Joey's out.
Say it, Horton. Turdoslavich. Here's David Freese. He is flied out, and he is single. And he lines it into center field. This ball is caught. Schaefer on the run makes a nice play. And David is 1 for 3 today.
The ground he has to cover, that's in left center. Good speed and good hands by Schaefer.
One out, Shane Robinson. Lined out to right, also grounded out to second, 0 for 2. Ground ball that's hit to short. Robinson hitless today, 2 away. Mike Minor very efficient here this afternoon. He's mixed in a double play, struck out 2, has not walked anybody, and his pitch count only at 88. Cosmo for 2, flied out to right, called out on strikes.
Whether the Cardinals are able to rally back in this particular game or not, you sure would love to see Pete Cosma get a base hit. Just feel for him.
Two and 0. Milwaukee holds on. They defeat Cincinnati 3-1.
Every player has a trigger, Dan, and we talked about Pete being late a lot in the last couple of weeks. And again, you're judging the fastball, your hand-eye coordination, all of that is kind of has to come together. But he just seems to be reacting late. He has a movement, and then his hands start to come through the zone, and they drag through the zone. He's not aggressively hitting the ball out in front of the plate. Whether he's trying to guard against being fooled by off-speed pitches or not, that's what players talk about, being in between. You're either way out in front of the off-speed pitch or way behind the fastball, but that's just dragging a bit. And they throw you a fastball in and you have no chance. All about timing. And he's working at it.
Colton Wong at the on-deck circle. 3-2 pitch. And a walk to Cosma. He's got to eat at Minor, knowing the struggles that Cosma clearly has had. He's gotten them out twice today. Walks the 8th place hitter. Brings up Colton Wong.
Cardinals just have one right-handed bat on their bench, and that's Rob Johnson today. Put all your right-handers in the lineup, Dan, and you assume that the lineup will be flipped over by the time you get the pinch hitters, and you can use your lefties against the right-handed bullpen. But in this case, Minor's still in there.
2 outs, runner at first, and an 0-1 pitch. Nope. Check on that runner, Pete Cosma. So that's it for Lance Lynn. Cardinals had a streak of 14 straight in which games went from the starter 7 or more innings, excluding Adam Wainwright. So you're talking about guys just not going deep into games, with the exception of Waino. And now they've had back-to-back games in doing so. Shelby Miller. And here today, Lance Lynn. At least giving you 7 innings, and Cardinals trailing though by the score of 4-1. Popped up by Colton Wong. Foul territory. Simmons makes the catch. We played 7 here at Busch Stadium. Excellent work by Mike Minor. 4-1. 4 earned runs. He's out of the game. It's 4-1. And let's go to our studio and a Bommarito Sports Update. Chevy called to the pen. The Cardinals look at Randy Choate. 51st appearance. Came in last night. Charged with a run in the 6-2 win for St. Louis. Switch hitting Elliott Johnson. Then Freeman. Cardinals have been out hit 9-6. Now 10-6. Base hit. Oh my goodness.
Was it worth it? There's the flip and the fall.
Oh. Looked like they were laughing at him. Poor guy. Let's hope he didn't break any bones. And that's tapped foul. Freddie Freeman grounded out last time up back in the 6th. He's hit into a double play and also struck out. Short lead at first by Johnson. Here's an 0-2 instead of check. And safe at second. Molina has caught one. That was Gerald Laird. On a hit and run, swung on and missed, and now a stolen base for Johnson after the strikeout of Freeman.
Good throw by Molina. Right on the money. Too good a jump. Choate is through. And we'll see the Cardinal rookie, one of 19 we've seen this year, Michael Wacha. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Justin Upton, a big swing and a foul back. Michael Wacha is into the ball game. It's our Chevy called to the pin. 9th appearance, the ERA that's close to 5. 27 strikeouts, though, in 8 appearances.
When he's good, he's very good. Changeup, a big weapon for him. As well as a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. The breaking pitch is still developing for Wacha. There's the changeup, outstanding. Realize that pitchers are always continuing to develop. How about Shelby Miller, who's introduced a cutter to his repertoire, and not only is it good, it's phenomenal. Changeup way out in front, and he just picked it up.
At times, that breaking ball is hit and miss, so mix in a cutter, why not? Here's a 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Gets away, and a throw down to third. Nearly into left field. A wild pitch charge to Wacha. 2-2 with 1 out.
Cardinals far and away have the fewest wild pitches in Major League Baseball, and it's because of Yadier Molina. He saved so many of them, but he couldn't keep that one in front of him. Tend to think of wild pitches a function of the control of your pitching staff, and that's true. But I think if you've got a catcher that isn't there to help you out with a plan B to save you every once in a while, the wild pitches are going to come, and they can make a huge difference. That difference between being on second and third right here brings the Cardinals infield in and makes a 350 hitter out of Justin Upton.
244. Runners in scoring position. Big cut. Hits it out of play. The 2-2. Ooh, he just missed. Full count on Upton. Infield in. Laird is on deck. Runner at third, 1 out, the 3-2. Question for you, Rick. Can he go back to that fastball here with Upton, or does he have to roll the dice with the changeup, and if he walks him, he walks him?
I think he can do it either way. I think he's got to have confidence that he can go either way, and Yadi's going to be the one to offer the suggestion. Then he's going to decide whether to shake or not.
Well, with the changeup, he walked him, and now you have the potential of an inning-ending double play. Lately, the bullpen has been called upon an awful lot, and it has improved. Look at that, the relief ERA. Hit a rough patch, and since that time, it has improved. The ERA 1.20.
And with the improved bullpen, the improved record.
A lot of young guys out there that have not pitched. If you talk about expanded rosters in September, and you wonder how that plays a factor down the stretch. Longer season, The effect on an arm. 0-1 pitch. 1-1.
They always talk about in the NFL about a college player becoming a professional player and having to play more games, and that there's a physical toll that rookies have to get used to, young players have to get used to. Same is true in baseball. Minor league seasons will be wrapping up in about a week. They'll be done. There is no September baseball in the minor league. And so if you're a rookie playing in the big leagues, you realize that it's just a little bit longer marathon.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Inside, he missed. 3-1. No activity in the Cardinals bullpen. There's your fly ball. Shallow right. And the catch made by Beltran. Fires to the plate. And not in time. Had a long way to go. He makes the catch. Johnson tagging up from third.
Well, if Beltran didn't have to slide for that, he would have been able to throw the runner out at the plate, but bounces up quickly, strong arm, but the speed of Elliott Johnson. He gets a good jump off the third, too.
Now it's Cunningham. First time we've seen him. Well, the first 3 games, 5 runs. They've got 5 here this afternoon. They picked up 3 in the first 3 innings. Injuries the Braves have had. At least 6 games for Cunningham. 1-2. A strikeout for Waka, but the Braves add to their lead. It's now 5-1.
low pitch count. Surprising that Mike Minor not asked to go a bit longer. Just 97 pitches for Minor through 7 innings. But we've talked a number of times about how good this Atlanta Braves bullpen is. So I guess you have them. Why not use them? And that's the decision Freddie has made. Carpenter and Beltran will probably both face Avilan, and with a 5-1 lead, be curious how long he goes with his left hand.
Carpenter a 2-hit day. The Cardinals beginning tomorrow, 13 straight against the Pirates and Reds. Then September 10th, the team does not face a team over 500 for the rest of the season. That's 19 straight. Reds have 2 more series against St. Louis, 2 more series against the Pirates. Matter of fact, the Pirates and Reds will play in Cincinnati in the final series of the season. Here's a 1-1 to Matt Carpenter. And a ground ball rolled to first, and it's taken there for the out. Pirates, 6 of the Pirates' final 9 games come against the Reds, including the final 3. But you look by opponents' winning percentage. No team has an easier schedule from here on out than the Atlanta Braves. After today, just 3 teams left on their schedule that happen to be above the 500 mark. So very well could be a factor down the stretch. Schedule, and you know, for some teams that face those lesser teams late in the year, teams that don't have to play for anything except pride, they really relish that spoiler role.
I'll tell you where the extra work comes in when you're playing teams like that is there'll be 3 or 4 guys in their lineup that you don't know that well, and your game becomes really important. But you're pitching against and hitting off of new faces. There's the game of interest in San Francisco.
Now for Freddie Gonzalez, he's dealing though with injuries. Brandon Beachy could be a big loss. Their pitching staff, and then Jason Hayward. I thought you made a really valid point last night. Yeah, we say, okay, the guy's due back in 4 weeks, and he's got, let's say, 10 games to get ready for the postseason. But the human element of getting back in the batter's box after you've been hit in the face. What a play here. What a play down at third. Takes a hit away from Carlos Beltran. Boy, that's nice there, Paul Yanish.
Going to his left, stabs it, bounces up. Really nice footwork and a good throw. Outstanding play by Yanish. Seen him play some shortstop with Cincinnati, playing third base here today for Chris Johnson. And you know that human element, Dan, and you know you don't wish that on Jason Hayward. You don't wish it on anybody. Just an awful thing to watch him get hit by that pitch. But I think a lot of people would say the former Braves right fielder who got hit by the Cardinals in spring training, Jeff Francoeur, was never the same after getting hit. Can't recall who hit him in a Cardinal spring training game, but he kind of had that little shy away, pull off reaction for a long time. It took, and he couldn't hit the next year.
2-0 on Holiday.
Been released a couple of times since then. You know, strong arm player. I mean, just talented guy, and you just don't know what the human element's going to be. And plus the fact that your timing's going to be off after being off that long.
Holiday with a base hit out to left center field. Carries all the way to the wall. 2-out double for the Cardinal left fielder. Matt has the only RBI today for St. Louis. Picks up his first hit. We turn to our Nissan drive of the game. No doubles defense, right?
Well, if you hit it there, it doesn't matter. Another ball scorched by Matt Holliday.
Kimbrough getting loose. Craig, a liner into right center. Here comes Holliday, and it's 5-2. Craig with RBI number 91.
Cardinals continue to battle. Down in the zone. I'll say down in the zone, about shin high. And I guess that's a 2-out runners in scoring position hit for Alan Craig. We've said that before.
Pitching change. Kimbrough coming on when we come back. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Kimbrough has been dominant. Now this year he does not have any 4-out saves. He did have one last year. So of his 129 career saves, only one the 4-out variety. Chevy called to the pin. Here's Yachty. Tremendous fastball, devastating slider. No runs allowed since July 4th. Span of 20 appearances, only one run since May 9th. And in that stretch, he has been perfect in save opportunities. Gets the final out here in the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-2 Atlanta. show. We'll take you inside the Cardinals clubhouse. You'll hear from Mike Matheny. All the highlights coming up. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Second inning of work from Michael Wacha. The Cardinals trail 5-2. And Michael trying to make sure this stays a 3-run lead for Atlanta.
Out.
In the air out to left center. On the run and making the catch, Shane Robinson, and Simmons, who is homer today, is the first out.
Have to think that the future of Michael Wacha is as a starting pitcher. And one of the problems that you have to be careful about, it's not necessarily a problem, good fastball up in the zone to Giannis, but you worry about a guy learning, because he's spending time in the bullpen, of maybe picking a little bit. You come out of the bullpen and you try to be too fine, you realize you have 6 or 7 pitches maybe and your day's over, and you don't attack the zone the same way you would as a starting pitcher. Starting pitcher, you have time to establish your pitches. You're going to give up some hits and runs along the way, but as a reliever you realize you have to be perfect. So the tendency is to overthrow pitches or to try to be too perfect with them, unless you're kind of taught not to. And that's, I think, going to be a key for Wacha in the next 5 weeks. If he's going to indeed stay in the bullpen for the Cardinals, then he can be a weapon there. But be the same guy. Don't pick. He's a command pitcher. He's a control pitcher. Attack that zone.
2 away. Has he shown you enough in his arsenal to be a starter?
Yeah, definitely fastball, changeup, and command and control. I think the breaking pitch is a little erratic, but I think as a starter, I just think it would be there.
One ball, one strike. One and two on B.J. Upton.
Works quickly too, doesn't he?
Sure does. Strikeout of Upton. Good work by Wacha. That pitch at 96. Can they come back against Kimbrel? We'll find out. For the Braves. Once again, here he goes, Rick. Very, very good. Only one earned run allowed, and very similar to what we saw in his previous start. You saw that grip that you talked about earlier, too.
Kind of that hook grip, and it certainly worked fine for him today. Only a couple of strikeouts. He didn't really blow Cardinals away, but the low pitch count. And now we got to deal with this guy. We were hoping he would have 4 days off in St. Louis. A nice little vacation here for Craig Kimbrell, but working here this afternoon.
Remember, had a couple of memorable late season opportunities against the Cardinals, and in 2011 the Redbirds got to him. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Freeze. Hits it out of play. Kimbrell, in many ways, the right-handed version of Billy Wagner. Not tall, but stocky, the big legs. And he's talked about that being such a vital part of his game. The drive from his legs generates the power.
He's got the gunslinger mode going when he leans over, gets the sign. It's kind of a natural thing that he does. Peering in.
Two and two.
Matt Adams available off the Cardinals bench. So is John Jay, who's in the on-deck circle.
The 2-2.
Boot it.
One away.
Stay there anyway. There's Matt Adams.
John Jay will be a pinch hitter.
In fact, the full statement there, Dan, that we used to say in the dugout is bad hop. Boot it. Bad throw. Drop it. Bad call. Stay there anyway. All those things could happen wrong on a simple ground out to the shortstop. And you're just rooting for one of them to happen.
In the air, down the left field line, and out of play.
Cardinals were playing well until Robin showed up.
So you're saying it's not the rally?
No.
Robin.
The Cardinals are doing just fine without him. But he is with an Atlanta Braves fan, so
maybe that explains it. Jay lines out to short. Cardinals down to their final out. Daniel Descalso. And El Centro. Cincinnati lost today. Pittsburgh and San Francisco scoreless in the third. This should do it. The Braves will salvage a game in the series. The Cardinals take 3 of 4 here at home, but the Braves win the season series. Our final today, 5-2.
Overall, a very good series here at home against the Braves. The Cardinals couldn't manage the sweep today. Mike Minor was just too good, and the Braves really got it done early with 3 quick runs in the first 2 innings, and this game really never in doubt.
Tyler Lyons will get the start tomorrow against Mike Leake. More on that coming up in the postgame show.